Hello, we're here today again trying to learn something. Remember that my videos are not just for me to do the work, but for some of us to try to learn. We can always we can always do it. We can always try. I know that all of us can draw. But before we get started, I would like to remind you to please subscribe, like, comment, show like or dislike, because it's very important for YouTube. I know a lot of us watch the videos like I used to and didn't realize that there's a lot of work that goes into it. And we need your help. I need your help. I'm a retired art teacher after 44 years, and I'm learning about YouTube, and also I would like to leave some of my teaching techniques behind so that some of you can learn if you want, or at least enjoy it and look at it. But please remember that according to Google, there's over 300 hours of uploaded videos every minute. 300 hours, 5 billion views every day, based on the information, if I don't have it wrong. But that's a lot of views. So by the time you see this here, we don't know if you're ever going to see it again, but YouTube checks it out and sees if people subscribe, if you like, if you comment, if you share, send it to someone, a friend of yours, someone you care about, if you like the video. Again, I do have other videos that I've done for those of us that just like to look. But I would suggest it's a very relaxing thing to do, to try to draw. We don't have to be good at drawing. As long as you enjoy doing it, that's what counts. So subscribe, like, comment, and also share the video with someone. Help me out. I need your help. Okay. Let me just kind of show you first some of the videos that I have already covered. One of them is one-point perspective, and it is important to know the perspective, so in our mind we were able to draw. We don't have to use a ruler like I did here, but as you work with it, you will get better, and your brain will help you in seeing the techniques and the steps and the positions and the colors and all that as you go along. Here's your horizon line. This is your horizon line. That's your eye level. So we're looking up at this boxes. This would be buildings, or I could be flying over the top of the buildings looking down. That would be your vanishing point. This is a horizon line where you're standing at, you're looking down. So this is a one-point perspective. It's a good idea to get the concept of what proportions are so you can get better. Now you don't have to. You can be an abstract painter, and in abstraction, you don't really deal a lot with the scholastic part of it, in proportions. Here's a two-point perspective. In comparison to this one here we see going to the inside, the vanishing lines to the inside, and this point can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be in the middle, okay? And you can have more than one vanishing point. And here you have a two-point perspective. So we have one here and one here on the sides. Now this here again is for illustrations, for learning purposes. So it's a two-point perspective. Again, it's the same thing as looking at different objects, buildings, cars, people, whatever it is. And then I did another one on the basic color schemes. I remember when I was taking high school and college level courses, he said, well, use a color scheme. Well, yeah, how do you use it? So I went over some of the simple steps here. I will be making other films over the color scheme. Here's a value study. With just a pencil. And I try to use materials that you find at home, so you don't have to worry about going out and buying specialty. Once you get into it and you understand it and you really want to spend time and money on it, you can get better quality materials. I just use materials that I used in the classroom. Here's another value study. Here's a one-point perspective, going back to the first one I showed you, where you take this box here is this box here. You see, in this vanishing point here on the corner is this vanishing here in the center, the vanishing point. So here's my box, here's my box. And in my case, I like to use a 1 centimeter per positive and negative spaces. For example, the verticals here would, you have a letter, and this is a simple block letter, and you have your sides, the middle, side, top, middle, bottom, and depending on the letter that it is, if you use your imagination, you know, you can make any letter of this. It's a simple block letter. You can change the measurements and your letter changes. You can tilt them, you know, you can add an angle to them, you can distort them by using a point perspective. And also I try to use color schemes. In this case, you know, we have warm colors here and here, and then a cool color, the green, with a background with cool color. And here's the letter B, using again tints and shades and intensities, the letter B. Then the letter C, okay, the letter D, again with a 1 point perspective, the letter E, the letter F, and then I made one for Valentine's, calligraphy, using calligraphy. Calligraphy is the art of writing. And then here I'm showing like I would teach my kids, using the grid. Because sometimes some kids are very talented, they're gifted, and some of us are not, but then you can work at it and you can develop your drawing techniques. In this case, we have a grid is a technique where you break it down into measurements. For example, here you have this, here's this size, the same size, and then twice the size. So the way I would teach my kids is like using a projector. You close in, and you go back and the picture gets bigger. It's the same picture using the grid. Eventually, and you can get more detail. You can break these areas into smaller spaces for more detail and more minute fine detail. And then we would add a background to our pictures and using color schemes. Eventually, the children, the kids, the little students would learn and stop using the grid by the time of the end of the school year, because your brain starts doing the measurements. Here's another one, using the grid again. Okay, these are again just lessons, you know, where you use it to help you understand proportions. Okay, and here the same thing. The more you do it, the more you practice, the better you get at it. And then I did a watercolor with acrylic in this one here, okay. And then I did a Superman one, a watercolor one, and then a watercolor and mixed media with pencil. And in this case, what I'm trying to show here, I don't know, because I used to teach elementary science, that if you take a regular egg, chicken egg, and you hold it in your hand and you vertically like this, and you try to break it, holding it, it's going to be very difficult. But if you take the egg, like say this is the egg, you hold it like this, and you try to break it, it's not going to break. So here we have just an idea of Superman being so strong. The irony is that he can break it because of physics. But if you turn the egg sideways, boom, it breaks very easily. So these are some of the videos that I have done. So if you're interested, you can go to my channel and you can start looking at them. And again, some of them are lessons, some of them are just illustrations of how to color and paint. I think that me as a teacher, I would like to have you learn something. Today we're gonna do the letter H, and I'm gonna use the letter H with some cartoons again. Here's some practices that I've done for a horse, for H, and then a hippopotamus. And also I've done some setting up for them already, but I'm gonna go through the steps so that those of us that are interested, again, anyone can do it. Okay? Some are born with the talent. Some people can play music without ever having having to take a lesson. I wish I could do that. But I have learned the hard way by practicing and trying to learn. Drawing is the same thing. Coloring with practice and practice until you develop your own technique. So in this case, we're just using a little ruler from school, or the rulers that I used to use in school and with the kids. And I use a small one there, and I use regular pencils and markers, nothing fancy. So I'm gonna set up the measurements for my letter. What I did here, I'm using the metric system because it's easier to work with, especially in elementary. But it takes me about maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the most to teach the kids the measurements with the metric. And the reason I like the metric is because it's easier to use than the inches, because a lot of kids don't know how to use the inches. The standard measurement uses the inch, half inch, quarter inch, 8/16, and so on. And on the metric system, we use the centimeter, for example, 1 centimeter, and in the centimeter we have 10 millimeters, and 10 centimeters make 1 decimeter, and 10 decimeters make a meter. But here we can go into small spaces, but we'll try to keep it to the equal numbers in our design. So here we're going to draw the letter H, and the letter H, in this case, in my case here, you can use any measurement you want, any placement you want. And what I did is I went 10 centimeters from the side over here, from the edge of the paper, from the left to the right. I made a dot, the two dots at 10 centimeters. The reason we want to make 2 dots for measurements is so that we can draw a straight line. So since I already set it up, I'm going to go ahead and set up the edge of the letter here. So in H, we're going to have a blocked simple letter. It's going to be one side vertical, and then the center. Okay, the vanishing point for our design is going to be here on the corner. So that's going to be your VP, your vanishing point. Okay, so now I break up. I'm going to do the diagram. Again, it's a lesson so that we can get the hang of it. I would break it into 5 equal centimeters. So I would make my dots. If I had a T-square, I wouldn't have to be making so many dots. But we're going to keep it, again, like I did with my high school students and my 6th graders. Again, I ask for your support on YouTube, because there's a lot of competition out there. And in my case, since I'm retired, I want to leave my teaching lessons behind for people that want to learn, but at the same time that maybe I can become viewed a lot. Now I used to wonder, wow, man, look at all these commercials on these videos, but now I know why. Because those 30-second, 10-second, 15-second commercials are what help the YouTubers make at least something out of it, money-wise. And hopefully I can become popular enough. We have to have a lot of hours. We have to have 4,000 viewing hours. We have to have 1,000 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken, to at least be considered, and that we have a lot of subscriptions, likes, comments, likes or dislikes, and so on. So please help me out by doing the subscription, the likes, and the comments, and sharing the videos if there's something you can see that you learn. So now we have our working space for the letter H. So I'm going to outline the letter H. I'm going to do first the vertical. Remember, we're going to have a left side vertical, right side vertical, then we're only going to be using the horizontal center space. So I'm going to go ahead and outline it in dark here to the center, and we want to keep it equal in this. You can change the thicknesses of the ascenders and descenders as long as you keep it consistent with whatever, if it's one letter, a name, initials, whatever it is you're doing. Okay, so now I'm going to outline it in black, I mean not in black, in dark lines. Now usually in the if I was doing the work for myself here, my lines would be very light, okay, but I'm using dark lines here so that you on the video can see them. So there's my letter H, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline it with a marker. Okay, I'm going to use the small ruler. I usually like to do the corners just to remind me, hey, stop here, don't go any further. Now the nice thing about videos, if you are in the learning process, and I challenge you to do this here, anyone can do it. And the nice thing about videos is that we can pause, and come back to it, forward it, and so on, and review it if we want to. And another thing that I would emphasize with my kids is trying to keep your work nice and clean. So we're going to outline it in black so it'll stand out visually, look nicer. Okay, so we look, letter H with a 1-point perspective. And there's our letter H. Now we're going to go ahead and set up our vanishing lines to the vanishing point. So the vanishing point, it's over in the corner over here. And this is the way it works. The way I like to do it is that my vanishing point is going to be my radar center. And then it's going to go out to the edge of every letter. One thing to keep in mind, because we're thinking of these letters as solids, is that once I find a corner and I line up with a vanishing point, I draw my line and I stop. I go all the way to the vanishing point. I go here, I go to the next corner, again my radar. Well, if we're going to take it as a radar like I was telling you, I would go to my next corner, which is this corner inside. But I don't draw that one. I don't, because it would be inside the letter. Remember, it's solid, so I don't have to worry about that one. I don't draw it. Well, I go to the next one. Now I don't do anything. I go to the next one. Remember, my radar is going around clockwise. Yes, I draw that one. I start. I stop. I hit something. I stop. Okay, don't worry about it anymore. Go to the next one. Same thing. Draw, stop, stop. Don't do it because it's inside. I go to the next one. I do it. No, it's inside. The same thing, I skip this one. Well, I don't do it because it's inside. So I go to the next one. Oh, there's one right here. Do I draw this one? Is there anything in the way? No. So I start. I go all the way to my vanishing point. I go to the next corner. Here's this one here. Let me go back a little bit here. This one. Yes, there's nothing there. Then I go to the next corner. I go to this one. Yes, there's nothing there. Then I go to the next corner. There's nothing there. Ignore the drawing behind, okay? So we're just talking about the letters, the lines of the letters. Line up to my vanishing point. Do I draw this one? Yes. Okay. So there's my corners. I look and see, verify. I don't draw that one. Yes, 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 yes. So we have our H with the letter H going into infinity. But we're going to give it depth. It's like this eraser here. We have the front of the letter. We see the front. We're on top of it. But now I'm telling you, hey, we're standing on the side and I can see the sides here. Well, how does it go forever? No, this eraser has depth. So for our case, in our case, you can use any measurement. I'm going to use 2 centimeter depth. So I get my ruler. I look for my 2 centimeter depth. I look for the 2, line it up. Here's my 2. I go to my ruler here, make a dot somewhere in there. Go to the bottom, do the same thing, make a dot. Now, I look for this line here that goes to the back. I look for this one here because I'm working with this one. I line up my 2 centimeter dots. And then I draw a line within the corner, the top corner and the bottom left corner there. Okay, so now I can draw, let me draw it dark so you guys can see it. And now I have the depth of my H at 2 centimeters. Well, what would have happened if I had done it here at the bottom, my 2 centimeters? Let's say I would have gone 2 centimeters here, 2 centimeters here, and then I would draw my line when it's going to be a little higher. It's going to be different. And then this one's going to go up a little closer. So once you start on one side, you follow through with that. So now since I did this here at 2 centimeters, then if I look at this one here, I go 2 centimeters because it's the same as this. I go to the inside out, make a dot at 2 centimeters. Make a dot at 2 centimeters. I draw my line from this corner to this corner, but it's behind. You see how it goes behind? So I don't worry about that. But I do have it here. Remember this line? Imagine that there is not there. You see this line? Well, that there is going to show here. So now this is from here to here. From here to here. And then this one goes up this way. So I follow that. Since I don't have a T-square visually, I check and see that they're parallel. This is parallel to that, or this line. And then I go to the side. You see? So now I have this part here, which is this here. I bring this ruler here, and maybe I can go backwards so we can see the line. This is why I like this clear rulers. I can see that this line here is parallel to the bottom of the H, and it hits this corner here. I go. So now I have my H, and since I have this one here, this one is going to be the same as this one over here. Oh, no, lie. You see how you have to pay attention? I could have done that if I had gone this way, but remember we started over here? So now, that's good. I'm glad I made a mistake so you guys can see. So now, since I started over here, this corner is the one that's going to dictate the depth of this. Yes. Had I done the 2 centimeters this way, then this one would be the one dictating. But I did it here, from here to here. Very good. I'm glad we did that, made that mistake. So now I'm going to, again, parallel. I'm looking at those little vertical lines here against this. I go this, that there is this here. Now I draw this one. There you go. Now I draw it. There you go. There you go. Now you see that one there goes over here. Man. There you go. Now this one goes out this way. There you go. I'm looking to see that it's parallel. Now that makes sense. So now let me erase some of this so that we can start. There's an ugly eraser there. Let me see here if I can use this one. There. Okay, there you go. See if I can find another eraser that is. There you go. There you go. Now we can do this here. This is why we have to be thinking of what we're doing, because if we make a mistake, I guess that's why we have erasers. But you don't want to get into the habit of saying, well, I got an eraser, I can always erase. No, 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 no. We want to do it right the first time. Okay? So now, let me go ahead and outline it so that we can see it better. Now remember, I made a mistake, which was good because this way we learn. And again, mistakes are for learning. As long as you don't run across a railroad track. Okay, here we go. Let me go ahead and outline it. I'm going to go to the corner here and go to the corner down here. This corner. There's that line there. That corner is that corner there. This line is this line here. And it goes here. And it goes here. Here we go. And then this one here, so we have to be careful because I made a mistake a while ago. Then this one is this one here. This one is this one here. Now this one, this line here is from this corner to this here. Then this one. Now you see, now we're not going all the way to the vanishing point, to the corner. We stop because this letter has a certain depth. We could have left it all the way into infinity, but we are giving it a depth. There you go. Let's see if I didn't make any mistakes on the vanishing, on the depth. We got the air part, this part, this part, this part here. Okay, looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the cartoons. I'm going to start with a horse first. I like to use a piece of paper so I can rest my hand on. And again, this horse is not real. It's a cartoon. Okay, so it's a cartoon, exaggerated. Let's see if we can get this thing to work. Let me try another one over here. It's a bad thing about markers. They dry up when you least expect them. So now we're going to outline a little horsey here. And now, I want to remind you again that if you have learned just a little something, hey, give me a subscription, please. A like, a comment. Your like is a little hand right there on the screen, and comment, and also share it, please. And also, I found out just this weekend that wherever the letter symbol when you go to my videos. On the phone. Oh, and I found out too that 70% of the views on video are on the phone. The other percentage is also on other types of laptops, computers, and so on. So most of us are going to be viewing this on your phone, but you can always go to your, you can always use your phone, computer, whatever. So please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Please, I need your support. So what's going to happen after I get all this outlined, I'm going to color them using color pencils, markers, whatever you have, and then use color schemes. What I'm going to try to do with the colors is try to have contrast. Okay, so right now you're not going to hear me anymore talk. I'm just trying to outline it, erase everything, every pencil line. Okay, if you try this at home, wherever you're at, send me a comment. Hey, did it come out? Did you have trouble? Did you understand it? If there's something that you think would help me in explaining this, and And I'm gonna try to work on at least 3 more videos between here and Friday. So I would really, really want you to look at them at least, and let me know. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and outline this and color them, and I'll be seeing you in a little bit. So here we go.